And call this meeting
recording in progress.
Good. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Clerk. We're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order of the Sacramento Air Quality Management District at 9:04 a.m. If the clerk could please call the roll to establish a quorum.
Director Aquino?
Here.
Director Daniels? Director Desmond? Director Frost? Here. Chair Guerra?
Here.
Director Harris?
Here.
Director Kennedy?
Here.
Director Laloe?
Here.
Director Natoli?
Here.
Director Vandenberg?
Here.
Director Cerna? Director Singh Allen?
Here.
Director Terry?
Here.
Director Vang?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. If folks could please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Salute. Pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. If the clerk could please read the board announcements.
In compliance with directives of the State and Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the physical location of this meeting is closed to the public, consistent with state and local officials' recommendation to promote social distancing and Assembly Bill 361. Members of the public are encouraged to participate in the meeting by observing the meeting in real time at metro14live.saccounty.gov, Zoom video conference line, and by submitting written comments electronically by email at boardclerk@airquality.org. Comments submitted in person will be delivered to the Board of Directors by staff. Public comments regarding matters under the jurisdiction of the Board of Directors will be acknowledged by the chairperson and accepted until the adjournment of the meeting, distributed to the Board of Directors, and included in the record. This meeting of the Sacramento Metropolitan Air Quality Management District is cablecast live without interruption on Metro Cable 14, the local government affairs channel on Comcast Consolidated Communications and AT&T UVerse cable system. This meeting is being closed captioned and will be webcast at metro14live.saccounty.gov. Today's meeting will be repeated on Sunday, October 30th, 2022 at 2 p.m. on Channel 14.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Well, good morning, board members and public. Just a couple of announcements here on the order of the agenda. We've got a great recognition of service at the onset, but we're going to, after we can dispense with the consent calendar, we're going to jump to item 7 because we do have a number of our regional partners here to present on that item on the regional initiatives regarding zero carbon transportation. Then we'll go back to the Air Pollution Control Officer's report and then conclude with our final discussion item. So with that, let me turn this over first for some very celebratory but sad at the same time remarks here. Let me bring this over to our Air Pollution Control Officer. Good morning, Dr. Ayala.
Good morning, Chair, and good morning, board members. Glad to have you all here for our last board meeting of the year. But as the chair said, today is a special occasion for us. Bittersweet because, we are here to recognize two of our departing board directors. And we did not want to miss the opportunity to just from the staff perspective to share a few remarks to really thank you. I know that many of you get involved in many boards and commissions, and obviously they are all important, but your level of engagement, your commitment to this agency, your tough questions, and your care for what we do as an air agency do come across very clearly and suggest that you've taken your role as one of our directors very important, and that is very much evident and very much appreciated by all of us. I think for most of us here, I've had the fortunate working with you the least amount of time. But again, in my short time as APCO, your commitment to clean air, to the region, and to the mission of this agency is very clear. I want to start off with Director Natoli because, again, Director Natoli, I have learned in my few years and talking to many people about your departure, he truly is an institution in this region. And again, it goes without saying that your commitment to the agency is measured not in how many board meetings you attended, not in how many tough questions you asked us, but truly you all should be thinking in terms of the lives that you have saved, because every step, every decision that you've taken to move us forward towards our clean air goals are indeed a path towards preventing somebody from the adverse effects, suffering from the adverse effects of air pollution, including premature death. So I hope that you take that very seriously as you ride into the sunset and think about bigger and better things. But Director Natoli, we just want to present a very modest plaque. Again, hopefully you can put it in a special place. In terms of logistics, what I like to do is finish my remarks for Director Harris, and then I'm hoping that we can take some pictures with you guys up here in the front. For Director Harris, the thing that I'm going to keep with me is your clear commitment to the transition to sustainable transportation energy, your commitment to electrification. You are one of the most effective spokespersons in terms of the benefits of getting off of oil. And in your case, I'm glad to hear that we may be losing you as one of our directors, but we are not going to lose you as one of the strongest advocates for electrification in the region. And in whatever capacity you end up performing, we look forward to continue to work with you on many of the good ideas that you brought before us with respect to electrification of not only vehicles, but most importantly, aviation. So I also want to thank you for your commitment. On a personal level, you are just very caring, very decent people to work with. And I could not ask for better bosses than bosses like the two of you. And again, that comes from the bottom of the heart. And I think I'm speaking on behalf of many in the agency. So with that, I want to thank you, Mr. Chair. Back to you.
Well, thank you very much. If there are members who want to speak, I know Councilmember Vang sends her digital thank yous for your service to both Director Natoli and Director Harris. I see a number of members that your colleagues, Director Frost, Director Singh Allen has punched up here to speak, and then Director Laloe. So what I'll do is I'll start in that order, and then we'll move from there. Then we'll put you on the hot seats here. So, but I do want to just acknowledge that this comes from the staff and their appreciation of your service as well. So let me start with Board Member Frost.
Well, I will. I just wanted to say a little something to both of our directors who are leaving. To Supervisor Natoli, Director Natoli, I have a feeling I'll have many opportunities to say goodbye to you, and I'm not very good with goodbyes. But what I do want to say is that I'm truly going to miss you. I think you are the institutional knowledge on the Board of Supervisors and every single board we work on. I hope when you move out of that big office of yours that you have a place at home to store all the records over all the years in case we have one of those questions that we just can't figure out the answer to, and we don't have the institutional knowledge in the county because we've had turnover. And I hope you enjoy every minute of your retirement. I truly appreciate all that you've done. And I want you to know that my constituents in my district hold you in very high regard. Thanks. I also want to say to Director Harris, you have been sort of a voice of sensibility in every board that I've served with you on. It seems like you're so smart and you always do the work, and your input is always valuable, and I've really appreciated it. And I'm sorry that you're going also. And so I hope all the best for you. And I hope that maybe we'll see you in other ways around after you leave the council. Maybe we'll see you in a different place, because you've been a great representative. So I'll leave it at that, because I know there's probably a lot of people who wish to speak. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Frost.
Thank you, Sue.
Yeah, we'll have to make sure we get an extra set of keys to Don's garage, just in case we get anything.
Might get lost in the mess, let me tell you.
Director Singh-Allen here.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I'll start with Director Harris. I've gotten to know you over the last few years, and you have just been such a remarkable, pragmatic leader. I value your input in the different commissions that we sit on, but just as a person, as a human being, you're a gentleman, you do your due diligence, and you always come prepared to every meeting that I have been with you in. So just want to thank you. I hope this is not the end of your service. I have a feeling we'll see a lot more of you in the near future. So just want to thank you, and getting to know you has been a real pleasure.
Thank you, Bobby.
Of course. And to Director Natoli, my supervisor, my proud supervisor, I just can't thank you enough. You are the standard bearer of what it means to, service above self. When I think of service above self, that is Supervisor Natoli. And I know that we will be honoring you in our city. And so we'll get to spend some time together. But I just wanted to recognize and thank you for your decades of service. You truly are exemplary, and sort of cut through that and what should be nonpartisan. You're pragmatic, you're real, you look at the issues and not the politics. And I just so value you. I see you as a mentor. Thank you for all that you've done. And I know that the next chapter will be equally bright. So just thank you for your service and your dedication to our community.
Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you, Mayor Singh-Allen. Board Member Laloe.
Thank you, Chair. First of all, Supervisor Natoli, I haven't had the pleasure of working with you one-on-one, but they always say if you want to know something about someone, ask their colleagues and others. And in this world of politics that we live, anytime your name has come up, it's been nothing but positive. And it's been all about your commitment to the region. And I mean that. All of your colleagues, anyone at the city level, they have nothing but greatness to say about you. And that says a lot about your characteristics. So I hope you enjoy your retirement. I don't know how long it's going to last before you try to get involved with some commission, but I hope you don't go too far.
Thank you, Sean.
As far as my colleague, Director Harris, well, I'm going to miss you on this board, but you're still going to be sitting next to me for a few weeks. And truly, your commitment to city of Sacramento is going to be missed. I've never seen someone that would be so passionate about the city first, and obviously your own district, but also have this common sense mentality of what really works and what doesn't work. So it's been an honor serving with you on this commission, and obviously definitely an honor to be sitting right next to you during city councils. Thank you.
Thank you, Board Member Laloe. Board Member Aquino.
Thank you. Councilmember Harris, I think nearly all of my meetings with you on this board have been over Zoom, but I will echo the comments of my colleagues. I've always found you to be very knowledgeable, very prepared, very thorough, very thoughtful, and just thank you for being a voice of reason on this board. And Supervisor Natoli, institution is perfectly the way to describe you. And I know my father was fortunate to serve with you for 4 years. During your time on the board. And I have to say that I am very much anticipating seeing what your colleagues gift you with when you retire, because as you will remember, when my father retired, he was given 2 live pigs. So I can't wait to see what your colleagues gift you with after 28 years on the board.
I would just say thank you, Sarah. And the story behind that was we had what were known as projects in the ground, and certainly Supervisor Cox, Dave Cox, was very emphatic about, getting beyond the baloney and getting things done and getting the work done. And so he called them pigs, projects in the ground. And as Sarah said, staff thought it'd be appropriate that, beyond the projects in the ground, they gave him 2 pigs, as he says. So at any rate, that's the story. Thank you, Sarah, though. Thanks. And it was an honor to serve with your father, and I considered him a good friend, as you well know. So, and hello to your mother as well. So thanks.
Thank you, Board Member Aquino. Mayor Terry.
Well, I already had the opportunity to oversee a meeting where we thanked and recognized Don for his service, and we gave him a key to the city. So he's heard a bunch of what I would say here too. But Don, again, thank you for all your mentorship and leadership, especially in our city and in our region, for not only what you've done again for Rancho Cordova, but what you've done for clean air and so many other things, and also really being a mentor and a kind of a guiding light for me in a lot of these JPA and other meetings as we've been able to collaborate.
Thanks, Donald.
Thank you. And Jeff, your passion around clean energy and other things. I know we see each other at the air show every year and we talk about electric planes and all kinds of other cool technology that's coming. And it's been so great working with you here. And your interest in this field has really helped keep me going on in some of these, because sometimes, the things we talk about here are very scientific-y, which is definitely not the background that I have in formal education. But your passion for when we talk about some of these subjects, sometimes after hearing you, I'm like, yeah, okay, I want to say something just to agree with Jeff. And so it's been fantastic to work with you. Good luck in whatever the next chapter is with your career as well. And thank you so much for your service.
Thank you, Donald. I think you just called me a geek, which I welcome.
I definitely wouldn't say that, but for these, you definitely know more about this stuff or have spent more time honing it than I've been able to. So I appreciate that.
Thank you very much. I do want to also personally thank my colleague on the City Council, Councilmember Harris, for your steadfast commitment to air quality on this board. And I will say that this is a person who not only has had a thoughtful voice, has been also understanding of the challenges that this regulatory body has over businesses and what that means to them, but also one that walks the walk or in other words, or rides the ride and drives the electric drive as well. So I mean, he has been consistent about his commitment to air quality. Him as a consumer, as an advocate, for active transportation as well. And to share his personal story of growing up in a time when kids would not be allowed to go to school because of smog days. The fact that you've shared your personal experience and your commitment of what it means to our future youth in that aspect is commendable. And your in your commitment to making sure that we at every level advocate for air quality. Many folks don't know that his work on the City Council, which we don't see here, but his work on the City Council has moved the city and the region in the direction of looking at alternative forms of energy and also to make sure that even as our local governments we're taking action on clean air. And obviously, no one can his passion for flying. Your daughter just got her pilot's license. Is that correct?
Not quite. She still has to take her check ride. Unfortunately, she got COVID right when she was signed up to get her license. So she's recovered now. Her check ride should be soon, and I'm really proud of her.
Well, your passion for flying and mobility, and now this opportunity of electric aviation is a great one. And so I personally wanted to thank you, and also recognize many things that that the public doesn't see from this from this board. And this board, this agency is predominantly with scientists and engineers and public health officials who are concerned about public health, and it has shown about public health. So I want to thank you again also for your service, Councilmember Harris, my dear colleague. And all to say is that I also got a chance to know you over a 5-hour drive when part of the road was on the way to Yosemite for a air conference, or was closed off, and we spent a lot of time driving, drinking Red Bulls, and eating Slim Jims, and which probably wasn't the healthiest part of our trip.
You ate the Slim Jims, I didn't.
That's right. But well, thank you, Councilmember Harris, for your years of commitment. And
thank you, Chair.
And to our, the Dean of the Air District, I would say, Board Member Natoli. I've known Board Member Natoli since I was a student at Sac State, and he is one of the exemplary alumni of our region. And he has served with many of other folks. I remember Dave Cox when he was on the board, and Roger Neela when he was on the board, and you've outworked them all, I
don't know, Roger's trying to come back.
That's true. That is true. Yeah. But your commitment to service to the public, and having gone also through the School of Public Policy at Sac State, there is no other person that I know that has shown that level of commitment to local government, to the complexities that happen in local government because of our structure of fragmented government, and how we can actually work as a region to accomplish things. Not only on this board, but also on our previous boards, being a strong advocate for rural communities who have a tough time in transitioning because the economies of scales are different than in, say, urban settings. And being able to help guide and work with those communities also to help them as we look at addressing our issues of not only particulates, our issues of ozone as well. And I will say that when we were in some deep, difficult regulatory challenges with some polluters who did not want to be responsive, I do remember, and they're all in closed session, so we won't discuss any of those. But I do remember, Supervisor Natoli being that thoughtful voice to help us understand how to respond to the issues and how to make sure that we were being a good steward for the public and keeping public health at the forefront of every decision that we made. At the end of a decision, I know that when board member, our supervisor here, puts something forward, it's always been for what is the best for the public, and not only just for his constituents, but for those of our entire county. And I've seen it because he goes to just about every event that I know as well, even in the city of Sacramento, to make sure that he's getting a pulse and a feeling of what's going on in our region. So I want to again thank you, commend you to the Dean of our Air District. Thank you for your years of service, your guidance as well, and we will miss you all for your participation, but with your friendship, but most importantly, I think your commitment to our service here and in this time. So thank you again for your service. I do want to bring this back to Board Member Ayala here.
Before we present the plaques and take a picture, I wonder if Directors Harris and Natoli, if you'd like to respond to.
It's a little tough. Jeff, go.
Well, first, I'd like to thank all my colleagues for their very generous and kind words. I really appreciate it. I really have enjoyed working on the Air District. I guess it's been apparent with my passion for the subject matter, but it's been a forum through which to express a lot of ideas that are changing and evolving every day. It makes it very exciting. This is not a static board where we do the same thing every month. Things change, and our air, of course, needs a lot of cleaning. We need to express our clean mobility options in a very important way, but you know, it's really these ideas foment here with this board and these incredible employees. So it's been a real pleasure to work with you. It really has. All the things that I think that have been accomplished in the 8 years I've sat here on the Air District, we're moving in the right direction. We're keeping the conversation alive. But more than that, we are changing lives, Dr. Ayala. You're right. And I hadn't really thought about saving lives, but you know, changing the trajectory of how people live day to day is what we need to do. It's a pretty big mountain to move, but this district is really viable in creating that movement. So, you know, for my small part in that, I'm very grateful. Being a public servant is truly an honor, and sitting on this board has been very enlivening for me and a lot of fun. So thank you. Director Natoli, I want to say a little bit about you, too. You know, I mean, I could crack a lot of jokes about how long you've been around, and believe me, it's tempting, like the fact that you were there when I was baptized, but...
That's a good thing.
Anyway, Don, it really has been a pleasure to meet you, to get to know you, and to work with you. You are a repository of knowledge and just a lot of dignity that you brought to public service, and you know, I appreciate it very much. You're a role model, and you know, the entire region is going to feel the fact that you're not there.
Well, thank you, Jeff. I would just say it's very humbling, and the comments here this morning, I certainly take them to heart, and I want to thank my colleagues, thank each and every one of you for what you've expressed here this morning, and I will just note that as you go about your daily work in our lives and our careers, that I'm sure we all think about or anticipate retirement, and sometimes it comes on, you know, suddenly. Other times it comes with plans. But certainly, as I close out my years of service here with certainly the County of Sacramento and with all the various boards that I've had the privilege of serving on, and the people I've come to know and work with and consider friends and colleagues, and it's a little bit overwhelming. I'll just say that. And this morning, again, it moves me in many different ways and many different thoughts, and I don't want to go long here, but I want to say certainly to our chair and to Jeff, and certainly Jeff, thank you for your service. And again, I know you've brought a lot of passion to many issues here, but elsewhere, and have been very diligent in your service, but very considerate of others. And again, that shows in certainly the way you express yourself, but the way you've dedicated yourself to the many things we're called upon to do in any given day. And I think all of us in an elective office, but certainly those of us that serve in public service, and again, we were very blessed here to have very dedicated staff, and that goes throughout the agencies and organizations that we're all a part of, or are called upon to be a part of in our service. And so I want to just say thank you, certainly to you, Alberto, and to our folks that are present here today. I've had the good fortune over time since Harris's baptism to have served on this board for now almost 28 years, and I've expressed to Alberto on a couple of occasions that I feel really badly because I have this conflict. I serve on the Delta Stewardship Council, and it meets. They're in session currently, and they know I'm going to be a bit late there this morning, but again, you can't, much as I've tried, many of us do try, two places at one time, it's just not possible. But I've also, Alberto knew this when I accepted that appointment here almost a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago now, that I said if there was something that we needed to do here, that I would make this, a priority. And I would just say, having worked with Alberto, but certainly with Larry Green and Norm Cavell, and being a part of actually the decision, which was a split decision, but it was the right decision when this Air District, basically went off on its own and came out kind of the umbrella of how it had been formed initially, and certainly the construct now with our city partners from throughout the the county really has strengthened, I think, certainly representation on this board, but I think also has helped us move together in a fashion, and think Alberto captured it, where we are not only making changes that help people evolve in their daily lives and the way they move in and about, but certainly how they breathe the air that we all share, and it's essential to our every breath is essential to our life. And I just think it's really important. This district has been a leader in so many ways, and I know Alberto kind of alluded to it. Some of the questions at times, I'm sure staff probably thought, what's Natoli going to ask the next time around? But nonetheless, it was always done with the intent never to embarrass or to be critical in any fashion that would certainly reflect badly upon staff. But I think, again, and as the chair mentioned, that we each have constituencies. We have this constituency of all the people that we represent, but also different interests, and whether they be of friends and neighbors, or other organizations, or rural residents, or folks that business interests and so forth. And I think we've been a tremendous compliment to one another. My colleagues on this board, certainly present company, but all those I've served with in the past. And so, without going any longer, I just want to express my deep appreciation and thanks for the collegiality, but certainly for the good, dedicated work. It's reflected in so many ways, and I think the imprint that all of you as Air District professionals, and those that have preceded you, and those that you mentor and will succeed you, are well served. And I can say that about all the boards that I serve on, and it's been a deep honor and a pleasure throughout the course of now 28 years almost as a member of the Board of Supervisors, but I actually have 44 years with the county, 16 prior to that with my predecessor, Toby Johnson. And so I look forward to whatever comes next. I tell folks this is my community. I will continue to reside here. And I just won't be here for a lot of these sessions, but I know we're in good hands. And again, that gives me a lot of confidence as I, leave public service, at least in the capacity I serve in. But again, kudos and compliments to all of you. Jeff, congratulations for all your good work, and thank you to the district staff. I've enjoyed knowing you, and I appreciate it. I know even our secretary here has had to accommodate me at times via phone, or trying to get an agenda material. So again, thank you for your good work. It makes a difference in the lives of people in this community, and we're all better for your service. And so, again, with that, I'll just leave it at that. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Hear, hear. And I think the staff wanted to take us a quick photo here out front. And,
if it's okay, Chair.
It's okay.
So we'll take a quick photo, and then we'll reconvene to.
Chair, can I make
board.
just one more brief comment?
Yes, of course, Board Member Harris.
Dr. Ayala, I have to say we were really lucky to hire you. It was a great call, an action of the board to bring you in. You've been an amazing director for the Air Quality District. I want you to know that I personally appreciate you in that regard. And I also want to thank everybody for sponsoring me to go to the Yosemite conferences. They were very fertile. Lots of great ideas have been discussed, and we brought them back to Sacramento, and we've implemented many. So, they're really worthwhile to go to. Had a lot of fun, and I'm deeply appreciative. Thanks, Chair.
Did you recycle the Red Bull cans?
Actually, they're still in my car.
Is there an integral air purifier? We can make it. We can make it so. The crystal will absorb.
We'll put you guys right in the center here.
I'm used to being in the back row.
No. You're right in the center here.
Are you going to button up?
I guess.
Get a couple. 1, 2, 3.
All right. I'm always a photographer's worst nightmare when I take a photo with Dawn.
All right, we used up all our time getting it. Thank you, Don, again.
We're going to have to take another
All
Yosemite trip.
Stock up on the swim. That's right. Stock up on the swim.
stay for consent calendar.
Yeah.
Get one more vote in.
Yes, exactly. We're gonna keep Don in here to get one more vote in here. Again, I do want to thank our staff. This appreciation came from the staff, and the staff, they make our job a lot easier every single day when we have to make these creative decisions, some tough decisions, but most importantly for those of the public health. Madam Clerk, let's move on our first item here and on the of our consent calendar.
So for the consent calendar, we have items number 2 through 5.
Great. Let me ask, are there any members of the public signed up to speak on this item?
No, Chair, there's not.
Let me bring it back to the board then. An action from the board?
I'll move consent.
And I'll second it.
Okay, it's been properly moved by Board Member Harris, seconded by Board Member Natoli. Is there any further discussion from the board? I see none. Madam Clerk, if you could please call the roll.
Director Aquino? Director Daniels? Director Desmond? Director Frost?
Aye.
Chair Guerra?
Aye.
Director Harris?
Aye.
Director Kennedy?
Aye.
Director Laloe?
Aye.
Director Natoli?
Aye.
Director Vandenberg?
Aye.
Director Cerna? Director Singh Allen?
Aye.
Director Terry?
Aye.
Director Vane?
Yes.
The consent calendar passes.
And this is Sarah Aquino. I didn't hear anything before Director Daniels, but I'm an aye.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We will duly note Director Aquino's aye on that motion.
Thank you.
And thank you. I know Board Director Supervisor Natoli has to leave, but thank you again, Director Natoli, for your last vote in action here today.
And we'll see you around. Thanks again. Okay, thank you.
Okay, Madam Clerk, and like as mentioned earlier, we do have our other partners here. I appreciate their willingness to sit through this presentation. But we want to thank, again, our staff, plus also the staff of many of the other boards we sit on. This next presentation is something that many board members who sit on the other JPAs, will be hearing as well. We're the first out here, so I guess we're the guinea pigs for this presentation. But I think what I'll say before we get started is this is exactly the type of collaboration and cooperation that we're pushing for, the benefits of regionalism here, and to making sure that we address the impacts to our community requires that all of us, regardless of what city or county we live in, that we break apart from the parochialism to really address those challenges. But it's led by our staff here, so I want to thank also our staff here. Director Ayala.
To move us along, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Lemos, who's going to lead the 4-agency presentation. Jaime.
Great, thank you. Madam Clerk, can we get the presentation up?
Yes, so item number 7, the Sacramento Region Zero Carbon Transportation Initiative.
Great, thank you. So good morning, Board Chair, members of the board. My name is Jaime Lemos. I oversee the Transportation and Climate Change Division here at the Air District. And as you've already mentioned, Chair, throughout the years, we've been sharing how the 4 agencies, SMUD, SACRT, and SACOG in our agency has been collaborating and have identified 4 major initiatives around transportation in our region. Today, the 4 agencies will share the final product and the next steps. This is important because, as we all know, there's a lot of funding on the table, both at the federal level and at the state level, both for focusing on the green economy. And so today, joining me will be Rachel Hong, Director of Customer and Grid Strategy at SMUD, Chris Flores, Deputy Chief of Staff and Special Assistant to the General Manager at SACRT, and Sam Shelton, Senior Analyst at SACOG. And so Rachel will start us off. Next slide.
Rachel, I think you're on mute.
Is that better? Can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you.
No?
Yes, there you
Okay.
go. Thank you, Rachel. Yes.
Thank you. Apologies. Whenever I switch places, I need to switch my microphone. So good morning. Thank you, board, for having us this morning. And as Jaime mentioned, my name is Rachel Wong. I'm the Director of Customer and Grid Strategy at SMUD. Thank you for having us speak to you today about the work that we call as the 4-agency collaborative. So in recognition of the importance of a focused and aligned region to advance clean mobility in support of improved air quality and reducing greenhouse gas emissions, the 4 agencies have been meeting monthly for the last several years, sharing information, collaborating on initiatives, and working together to bring opportunities to advance our goals in the region. Next slide, please. So we've actually recognized how our respective agencies share common goals, including advancing clean transportation, resilience to climate change, and enabling healthy communities. And as such, about a year ago, we developed a joint strategy that brings together our organization's efforts to deliver upon these outcomes by reducing vehicle miles traveled, moving to zero emission fuels, and investing in under-resourced communities. Next slide, please. So as Jaime mentioned, this joint strategy identified 4 focus areas for regional funding priorities. First, zero emission transit fleet conversion and refueling infrastructure. Second, zero emissions goods movement and medium and heavy duty fleet transition. Third, charging stations and clean transportation options for under-resourced communities. And fourth, community workforce development. Underlying all these focus areas is actually investment in under-resourced communities to ensure that all of our community members can be part of the transition to a zero-emission transportation future. So earlier this year, the group took the strategy to the next step, which was really developing a more detailed plan in order to prepare us and our region for the funding opportunities we expect at both the state and federal level. And as a result, the team actually produced a 28-page document and a socialization deck that can be used as a presentation on the areas the region has aligned to and are working together to attract funding to support our goal of a zero-emission transportation future. Each of the 4 areas includes additional information regarding goals, key activities, and initiatives needed. It also talks about design concepts, as well as a high-level timeline of activities to achieve the overall outcomes. This information is really going to prepare all of us for the funding opportunities that come, as we're going to be able to hit the ground running. We've had the opportunity to talk through these project concepts, as well as know how we're going to work together. And that's really critical when funding opportunities come, because they often don't have a lot of time between the release and the deadlines. So as a collaborative, we're actually going to give you a little bit more details on each of these topic areas. And we'll start off first by handing it over to Chris Flores from Regional Transit to cover the first focus area.
Great, thank you, Rachel. Next slide, please. There you go. So I'm Chris Flores, Deputy Chief of Staff, Special Assistant to the CEO here at SACRT. SACRT is truly appreciative of the partnership and the collaboration across the 4 agencies. We're all in alignment moving towards the zero-emission transportation sector. SACRT is required by the Air Resources Board to transition to a 100% zero-emission bus fleet by 2040. By 2030, all bus purchases we make must be zero-emission. In total, we have approximately 240 big buses, about 40 feet, and another 200 or so cutaway vehicles for our ADA microtransit services. And when we count other regional transit providers, there are over 600 buses that will need to be converted in the 6-county region. Currently, SACRT has 24 zero-emission electric buses in our fleet, 15 big buses, and 9 cutaways. With the support of the 4 agencies, SACRT has developed a zero-emission bus rollout plan, providing a roadmap for the transition. We are now moving forward with facility planning to accommodate our future fleet. We are currently exploring sites in the South area that will allow us to build out a new bus yard. Of course, we will need to take into consideration our service, how will our service be impacted by the relocation of maintenance, garages, and the storage of vehicles and those associated costs. And we will need to work with our partners to consider what infrastructure upgrades will be needed. With the bipartisan infrastructure law, the historic level of funding is now focused on zero-emission transportation sector. That is why the 4 agency zero-emission coordination is so important. We need to work closely and share our vision for our region. I want to thank the Air Quality Board for their support of this important effort. And now let me turn it over to Clint to go over the next slide.
Good morning, I'm Sam Sheldon with SACOG. And SACOG is happy to be a partner in our joint ZEV planning efforts, including freight planning, where trucks are a small share of our total vehicles on the road, about 3%, but they're responsible for 23% of our greenhouse gas emissions and about half of our NOx and PM 2.5 emissions. Finding a way to help turn over our truck fleets to EVs or hydrogen vehicles is a real opportunity. And several years ago, SMUD interviewed fleet managers who shared they're discouraged by the risks of buying ZEV trucks without supporting infrastructure for their fleet's long-term trips across our interstate system. Likewise, on the public investment side, we might wait for private industry to purchase trucks or commit to using them before installing large megawatt DC fast charging stations to ensure their use and bang for their buck for government investment. So we're hoping to kick off some studies that will help bridge that gap, where SMUD has nearly completed a study for freight charging and refueling in Sacramento and West Sacramento. And thanks to a $500,000 grant from Caltrans, SACOG will soon kick off a study for freight charging stations across the Northern California mega region, including about 11 freight charging stations there and about 5 within the greater Sacramento area. We're already starting to see some private interest in providing truck charging and alternative business models, such as the EV trucks as a service. So we're happy to be part of this partnership, and we look forward to building in this area.
Next slide. So we all agree that heavy duty is important in our region, but so is light duty transportation, especially as we're trying to figure out how do we move people around in our communities. This has been a challenge, especially in the underserved communities. We've learned a lot from deploying our first mobility hub in Del Paso, and so now we're ready for more. The plan is to deploy 52 mobility hubs throughout the region in the urban, suburban, and rural areas. We've also determined that within the 52 hubs, we'll need to deploy about 182 light-duty EV chargers for communities to have access for charging. Programs like Car Share, Clean Cars for All, and other electric ride-sharing modes will be able to use these stations. Next slide.
So the last topic area is workforce development. We recognize that this transition to a zero-emission transportation future is a huge opportunity for our region to enable inclusive economic development by training members of our community, particularly those within underrepresented and under-resourced communities, and creating a strong pathway for them from training to employment within high-paying clean energy jobs. We're already collaborating with community-based organizations to train members of our under-resourced communities in multiple technology areas, including distributed generation, installing electric space and water heating equipment, and electric transportation infrastructure. We've actually already started a workforce development program in partnership with the California Mobility Center, specifically focused on clean mobility jobs. But there are a few approaches that we're taking to build on the workforce developments already underway, including identifying the jobs needed and assessing the skills required for entry-level employment, partnering with educational institutions, trade organizations, community-based organizations, and others to continue to build and expand training programs relative to those skills needed by employers. We're going to be working with key partners to ensure training includes job preparedness and placement, with things like helping guide participants to write resumes, securing interviews, and supporting them even through the early stage of employment by ensuring access to wraparound services like childcare, transportation, case management, and more to ensure success. And then finally, we're going to be establishing strong relationships with the trades and employers, labor organizations, and regional employers from the start to ensure that those training programs not only meet their needs, as well as ensure candidates are well prepared for those jobs from those employers themselves. And with these efforts, we're expecting to work towards over 4,000 people trained and at least 1,000 people hired into clean energy jobs by the 2024 timeframe. Next slide, please. So we're very excited to put this plan in place as a collaborative and to work together to attract significant funding to our region in order to make this vision come to fruition. And it's really aligned to and supports delivery of key adjacent efforts in our region, including SMUD's Sustainable Community Strategy, as well as SACOG's 6-County Green Means Go initiative. We welcome all of you and encourage you to read the full 28-page report, which you can actually find hosted on SACOG's website at that URL listed below. With that, next slide.
Great, thank you. So now I wanted to share the importance of this document. The 4 agencies have collaborated. We've thought very carefully as to what the priorities in our region should be around transportation and mobility. How do we move people around in our communities? And at the same time, how do we clean up our air? How do we create power and resiliency as we look at different climate changes that are impacting us? And now, trying to figure out how do we socialize this effort. The 4 agencies are very clear about this initiative and are aligned, but the idea is to also socialize it to all of you, our board members, our directors, so that all of you can take it back to your prospective boards. we are available as well to also go to your board and do the same presentation as well. Along with this, we'll be sharing at the 4 agencies. We'll be sharing at different organizations like CAL FIRE and our water agencies as well, and also with our community organizations. The goal is for everyone here in our region to know about this initiative so that we could be aligned and collaborate when these funding opportunities come about. Next slide. We've been talking all year about the federal funding and state funding that will be coming this year and next year. And so we have about $1.2 trillion that will become available in different aspects. $550 billion will be going to new investments and programs within transportation and green economy. Next slide. Here's a little bit of a breakdown on the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, also known as a bipartisan infrastructure law, and this is the $1.2 trillion. We have $550 billion going to new investments and programs. We have $3.2 billion for infrastructure for rebuilding America, $8 billion for ARCHES, and we're already starting the work on the ARCHES program. The National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Program, NEVI, $5 billion, which $384 million will be coming to California is what we were forecasting. Rebuilding America and infrastructure with sustainability and equity, RAISE, $5 billion, and as we've heard in other presentations, SACOG has been awarded some of those dollars already. And moving America and the environment forward, $760 billion. Lots of opportunity, lots of funding, and so we'd like to get everybody's support. We'd like to get everybody to give us an opportunity to be able to share this initiative with everybody. And at this time, I do want to thank the four partners at the respective agencies, SACRT, SMUD, and SACOG, and all of the staff that helped put this program and initiative together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jaime, and all of our respective staff here for both the Air District, RT, SMUD, and SACOG. Again, this is the type of cooperation we need, and when we're competing against not just here in California for our region. I mean, we're competing against air quality, the South Coast Air Quality Management District, the Bay Area, and again, it's not us versus them, but we do want to be competitive to be able to get those resources. Us being united in all these multiple agencies helps us have a more competitive application, and that's why I think this effort is clear. But also when we're competing against other states as well. So not only for our own California, which is as tough as it is, but also with other states to get those federal fundings. And these are brick and mortar many times that employ also our local contractors, our local workers, on top of making sure that we're getting access to the resources we need to clean our air. But let me bring this back to the clerk. Madam Clerk, do we have any members of the public signed up to speak on this item?
No, Chair, we do not.
Okay, then let me bring it over to the board real quick here and see if there are any questions from the board. Again, you may receive this presentation a few times in your other respective agencies. They'll be presenting at SMUD, at the at the SACOG, and also at RT, and some of you sit on those boards as well. Any questions from the board members? Madam Clerk, I don't see anybody signed up to speak.
No, Chair.
Okay, very good. Let me bring this back to our, Board Member Harris.
Yeah, I have a comment. I think this alignment is really a good thing. Chasing those federal dollars will be more effective, and I was especially excited to see the $8 billion for hydrogen. I know that you guys on our staff are pretty keen on hydrogen, and I know I've talked a lot about electric airplanes, but now I'm excited about hydrogen ion battery airplanes because they will increase range and probably be more effective. We have to get to where we can actually produce hydrogen. And that's why your initiative at Regional SAN, bringing that to the fore could prove really worthwhile for our region. Just another example about how our staff, Mr. Chair, is really proactive, working across with other agencies to create the results that we want. So again, thank you.
No, very, very true. And the fact that the thought process around hydrogen helps us address the diesel emissions and heavy duty long haul, which is becoming a continued challenge with our current technology. Okay, then, with that, Mr. Air Pollution Control Officer, do we have any other questions on this item? If not, we'll move on to our next item.
We can move on, Chair.
Okay, very good. Okay, Madam Clerk.
So the next item on the calendar is the Air Pollution Control Officer report.
Back to you, Dr. Ayala.
Okay, thank you. And again, I want to thank, as the slides come up, I want to thank our partners at the four agencies. This is truly the way that we're going to succeed, right, by working together and capitalizing on the strength of the very strong identity that we are creating for our entire region. Next slide, please. I have a very brief report. For the record, for your information, in the board packet, you will find 3 letters that the agency has written. One to the Sacramento City Council in support of the California Mobility Center. One to the in support of the Placer County Transportation Agency for an SB1 congested corridors program, and the last one by way of association with NACA. We are writing, speaking of federal funding, we're writing in support of some of the Inflation Reduction Act investments, specifically for air quality. So we've got, as air agencies across the country, you would imagine we have some specific ideas in terms of where some of those federal dollars could go to improve air quality. So that is in your packet. It's essentially for the record and an FYI. And clearly, if you have any questions about any of those, we'd be happy to address them. The second point I want to share, again, it's another very important FYI. We have, as an agency, a very unique opportunity to participate in the Conference of Parties 27, the COP27, that is going to be taking place shortly in Egypt. And this is important for us. It was an invitation that we received that we're fortunate to be able to accept. This is important for us because when you think about the shortfall in the greenhouse gas reductions that countries are going to present, subnational agencies, state governments, local governments, is where those reductions are going to come from to close that gap. So this is absolutely critical. It's a very unique opportunity for us to engage, to network, to connect with those similar actors across the globe. And frankly, a lot of what we want to do is share some of the great initiatives, such as the item that you just heard, with others. And obviously, we will be reporting back to this board in terms of our experience. And the last thing that I want to report on is, next slide, please, is I want to give you an update to get more into the substance of this agency. We had shared with this board that we would have an air quality plan to get to attainment of the 2015 National Ambient Air Quality Standard for ozone this year. And that's not going to happen. So I wanted to make sure that we didn't have our last discussion of the year without giving you an update. It turned out to be more work than we anticipated. We're still working with EPA and the state. The state implementation plan, as we call it, is still due from us. Just to remind you that, as you all know, you pointed it out already, the region is in severe non-attainment of the ozone standard, and that's why a plan is required to go to the federal government. We are working in this plan, not alone, but with the 4 air districts surrounding our region, so that's part of the additional work. But just so that you know, we're expecting to have the plan for board adoption sometime next year. So in case any one of you were wondering where the plan was, there's been a delay, but we are working, and obviously EPA is fully aware of this. And the last thing I'll say about the plan, again, is this is essential for SACOG and the region to continue to have access to transportation funding. So notwithstanding the benefits for public health and clean air, there's a very important fiscal element to having an approved plan. Next slide. And speaking of standards, one of the actions that we are anticipating shortly, as early as the end of this year, is the EPA is going to be taking action on 2 new standards. one for ozone and one for particulate matter. They are currently going through the process, and as you can see here, there's going to be public hearings that we will be participating on either directly or through our association with some of the agencies that we work with. And the one thing that I want to leave you with is, if new standards are adopted, this is going to trigger yet another requirement for us to develop an air quality plan to reach attainment. And clearly, we support any action that the federal government wants to take to protect public health, but it does have a real impact, real practical impact on agencies across the country, not just us. In terms of the level of the standard, we're anticipating that the ozone standard is going to be left at the current level, so there's going to be no more stringency. However, we are anticipating that the PM standard will become more stringent. And again, more stringency means more public health protection, but also is going to make it harder for regions to reach attainment, because then we're going to have to crank down on some of the sources of those emissions. The last thing I'll do to make sure that I didn't miss anything is I want to check with Mr. Latzenheiser, who is leading our planning efforts, just in case, Mark, you want to make additional remarks on this point.
Thank you, Dr. Ayala. Just very briefly, what we're hearing at the moment, EPA has not actually released any final numbers yet, but on the particulate matter side, we're probably looking at going from 12 to 10 most likely, could go as low as 8. The 24-hour standard, the lowest, looks like probably the 30 as listed. There is a possibility they may be keeping it at the 35. And just put this in perspective, Dr. Ayala already mentioned the added work for the annual standard. If it does drop to 10, we're probably right around that level right now, especially if you take out the wildfire piece, which we don't have a lot of control over. If the PM 2.5 daily goes down, though, we will definitely have more work in front of us as an air district and as a region.
Thank you, Mark. Mr. Chair, this concludes the APCO report. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Let's see, any questions from the board members for the APCO on the APCO report? Seeing none. Madam Clerk, we'll go on to the next and final item.
Item number 8, hybrid workplace and Brown Act teleconference requirements, and I have Jamil Moons to give a presentation.
Good morning, Jamil.
Good morning. Good morning, directors. Jamil Moons, the Administrative Services Division Manager. Having a hard time saying my title this morning. Good morning. I know we've been here quite a while, so I just have a pretty brief presentation, but we just wanted to bring you up to speed and share with you what we're doing in terms of teleworking while we get the presentation up, and talk a little bit about the Brown Act, and share with you sort of where we are in terms of our ability to work remotely and have virtual board meetings.
All right, give me 1 second.
And we'll give her a second to pull that up. There we go. No.
Metro Cable, can I get the exchange presentations, please? We got to switch it in the back, so just give us 1 more second.
Well, let me just start sharing that a couple of years ago when COVID hit, we went very quickly to pretty much a 100% remote. Next slide, Selena, would be great. Thank you. Pretty much fully remote workforce, and that was fantastic. Our IT team jumped on it. We had mobility immediately, and I think we just really didn't skip a beat. So we were very fortunate to have the tools and technology to move into that environment. And it has been a very successful model for the district. So we've been quite pleased with that. About a year ago, back in April, we decided at that point that let's bring some folks back to work, see how that goes. So we've been really assessing, evaluating, seeing what works well, what doesn't work well. And so we were all required to come back 1 day a week at a minimum. We've had some people who come back 5 days a week. You can come back as much as you'd like, but it's required 1 day a week. And different teams have done that differently. Some of us come all in on the same day, and there's a lot of collaboration. Others like different types of coverages and have smaller teams working together. And so we've been at that since April, and that model has worked very, very well. So our intention is to continue this model through the end of the fiscal year with this 1 day required in the office, and continue to evaluate various things. So some of the areas we're working on, obviously, are performance management, continuing to refine that, bringing additional metrics districts to ensure that we're all very effective. And of course, we've continued to do the work of the district very, very well over the last couple of years, so we expect that to continue. We've also interviewed our staff and asked them what works well for you. Are you able, do you have a sense of belonging? Do you feel the district's culture? So it's really important that whatever work format we use going forward really is effective for the district and for the employees. So we will continue to reassess and reevaluate that. As you know, it's a very competitive market out there for employees as well. So to the extent we can create flexibility and continue to be effective as a workforce, we're going to continue to look at strategies that work well for all of us. Next slide, please. So when we went to this remote format, remote hybrid working, we knew that chances are we're going to stay in some form of this hybrid work ongoing. It's great for our mission as a district, obviously, with vehicle miles traveled reducing, and again, we're working very effectively. So we said, well, we really need to dive in and take a look at our space planning, because we probably won't have, all of our employees in one place as we classically had. And so we got together a team, a district of employees, a committee of employees, and had them. We went around and looked at some other locations. We asked them, what do you like? What don't you like? If we're going to look at redoing our workspace and making more shared space, what makes sense? Do you need quiet space? Do you need space to collaborate? So the committee worked and gave us some recommendations, which was very helpful and very good, and we have those. And then we kind of put a pause on it because we got notice from our tenants that they were going to vacate. So we have great tenants, but they've decided to move out and buy their own space. And so that created another opportunity for us to just reflect and look and say, well, now we have this building. We're only going to use a small portion of it potentially, if that is a potentiality, or we can use more of it. And we still have now tenant space that we have to get occupied. So we said we need to do our due diligence and look at all the options. Let's look at what it looks like to remain in place and continue as we are with that remodeling and accommodating that hybrid work. What about selling our headquarters and moving into a smaller facility and buying a smaller building that now fits our footprint? Or what about selling and then leasing? So we have engaged some folks to help us look at that, and we're evaluating those, and we're doing a long-term financial look. So we're doing it out at a minimum of 20 years to look at what those financial impacts would be in each of those models. So stay tuned, that we're right in the middle of that, and we'll be back early next year with some additional information to the board on the results of that analysis. Next slide, please. So just as COVID had created some new opportunities for remote work and hybrid work and for businesses to really adjust to that, it also affected how we have public meetings. And as you know, with the Brown Act, the traditional requirements or criteria around teleworking is that if you are a member, you need to, and you're going to participate remotely, you need to designate and post that location and agendize it and make it public, right? Make it available to the public. That's still in effect. That's our classic Brown Act, teleconference requirement. Then, of course, with COVID, there was the governor's declared emergency with executive order in 2920, and that allowed more remote working, and then AB 361 came into effect, and that's what we've been operating under for over a year now as a board and with this board. Recently, Governor Newsom announced that the state of emergency will end on February 28th, 2023, which basically makes it makes AB 361 ineffective, because AB 361 requires a state of emergency to be activated. So therefore, we will be back. That will require us to fall back to the Brown Act teleconference requirements that I just went through there on the first bullet. However, very recently, Assembly Bill 2449 was passed. And 2449 provides some additional flexibility around virtual meetings, around virtual attendance. However,
Jamil, can I ask a quick question? I'm sorry, this
is
Donald. I can't see whatever PowerPoint or thing that you're referencing. I don't know if I'm the only one. But
I'm working on the back end with Metro Chambers to try to get that presentation up during the Zoom. Sorry about that.
Okay, just wanted to make sure that everybody knew that. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Terry. I was not aware. We have it up here in the conference room, so they are working on it. Then I will be a little more specific. And so AB 2449, there's a few bullets under this, and what I am sharing with you is that this law requires a quorum of the board that they must be present. So there is some flexibility with this law, with this legislation, to allow board members to attend virtually to teleconference, kind of like we do in the current role in AB 361. But there's some very specific requirements that the board member, the attending member, has to be under. So there has to be childcare, or you have to be attending another meeting on state or your local agency business. There's some strict requirements. It also requires a quorum of the board to be present in person at a single location. So essentially, effective in March, we will be reconvening in an in-person format with the flexibility and option for some board members to attend virtually if they fall under those specific criteria that is found in 2449. If you're sick or contagious, that's that's a reason. That's a qualifying reason. And like I said, if you are traveling in your capacity with another agency, those are some of the examples. But otherwise, the board still has to be present in person and has to have a quorum all together in one place.
Jamil, before we move on, for members of the board and the public, this presentation is available online on the agenda. You can download it. It's I put it on the chat there. But for those that are watching and would like to see this slide, it is available online on the agenda under this item.
And it's back up now. It's been fixed. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Chair. Next slide, please. So in that same sense, as I mentioned, we will be back in person with our board, with this board in March, and looking forward to that. This is kind of nice. It feels like we just catapulted back a couple of years being here today. So we will be back, and again, just want to make it clear with board members for continued virtual participation. There are pathways. We'll just have to follow those rules. And on that note, we feel that virtual meetings have worked very, very effectively, and so from a district perspective, we're continuing to support activities or legislation that add additional flexibility to conduct virtual meetings. So as those opportunities come up, we do comment on that and think that it has been a good model for participation, both for the board members as well as the public, for public not to necessarily have to drive down and physically be here and to be able to participate. We appreciate that flexibility. Next slide. I think that concludes my remarks, and happy to answer any questions that the board may have.
Thank you, Jamil. Appreciate that. And I do think that the hybrid model has been helpful for both our employees. One challenge that we have, not only in this agency but other agencies, because of the advance in telework, now folks who do live in Sacramento could be employed in other agencies in the Bay Area, in LA, really where their expertise can be available. So I do think that, number one, we should always make every effort to make our staff feel as accommodated, and also making sure that it's an inviting and exciting place to work. But we do also have a competitiveness challenge that our regional boards must take into account now. And then as far as teleconferencing, and this has obviously been helpful for those that childcare is still an issue. We just had a press conference yesterday that even for board members, that only in our own county, there's only a third of the available slots for the demand for our county. So we know that that's still a challenge. And then the flexibility, I think, is it necessary? And this is a question I would pose to, members of the legislature as well. Is it necessary for our board members from Folsom and Citrus Heights to drive down for an hour meeting and then drive back to to do their course of business? So I think there are ways to address those issues. And I see board member Vandenberg there punching up in as well. So.
Yeah, to your point, I have a full-time job in Galt, or outside of Galt, actually in San Joaquin County. So between this and the other responsibilities I have, I gobble up all my personal vacation time. Not that I mind it, but I feel this would be an unnecessary strain or an unneeded strain, especially with teleconferencing working so well, to travel all that distance using my vehicle just to sit there, not just to sit there, but to participate live when this is adequate enough. I like the quorum being required, but I think there should be some other leeways besides the one specified.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Board Member Vandenberg. And to that point, I think many of our smaller cities who are further out in the rural areas, this becomes a challenge, and so I hope that our air district could actually take the leadership in discussion of these issues as they are presented in the legislature, because this is a state requirement that's coming down on us. To be clear on that aspect there. So, with that, are there any comments from the board here? No? Okay, thank you, Jamil. Appreciate that. Madam Clerk.
The next item on the agenda is the public comment.
Madam Clerk, are there any comments from the public on items not on the agenda?
No, Chair, there's not.
Okay, Madam Clerk, next item.
The next item would be board ideas, comments, and AB 1234 reports.
Any comments from the board or ideas or AB 1234 reports? Seeing none, then Madam Clerk, that's the balance of our agenda.
It is.
And we are adjourned at 10:20 a.m. Thank you, everyone, for your time today. Appreciate all your work, and let's keep that air clean.